Victorious Workers here for Slap News with Waylon Ice Cold Frost going up against Jesus Gaspar, Power Slap number 2. This is going to be the preview show for that particular fight with none other than Waylon Frost. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing really good, thank you. We're less than a week away now, May 24th, live on Rumble in the prelims. We have a match in the welterweight division, pegging the number 1 contender versus number 2 contender, Jesus Gaspar. We talked a little bit before the show started, and you mentioned that Power Slap number 1 wasn't that long ago. Reflecting back on it, the outcome that came from it, what did you learn from that experience that's going to help prepare you here for this opportunity going to Power Slap number 2, which could inevitably be a title shot for you should you come out victorious?
Yeah, so the outcome from Power Slap 1, yeah, I mean, obviously I was happy with it, to get a win and everything, and then, to come out of the ranked number 1, obviously happy with that. I feel like my performance could have been better, so I definitely want to show out here at Power Slap 2. I definitely want to make sure I have a very clean performance or, just a very good one. So definitely have been training hard and just making sure that, that's going to happen. So, and then as far as, like you said, this one seems like it just flew by, the break in between Power Slap 1 and Power Slap 2. But I'm excited for it. Maybe that's why it flew by to me. But yeah, man, I look forward to seeing all the other matchups and seeing all the guys out there, and it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely, man. Have you been training any differently for this fight, or have you just been replicating what you did the first time around?
I've been focusing more on the slap, just because I want to make sure that, I go out there and I'm able to perform better than I did at Power Slap 1. I mean, I want to get better every time. So my training has changed a little bit since Power Slap 1 for sure. A little bit more just focused on the actual, my weight training is still the same, but as far as my combat training, it's more focused on slap. And yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Awesome, my man. During Power Slap number 1, I know you perfected the rollout in a lot of ways, and I think there's been some chatter online in regards to that. Part of being your strategy was definitely within the rules, so I give you all the credit, and it worked out for you in that regard. I'm not sure if you listen to our content or not, and I talked a little bit about it being a unique strategy. I think if you go the distance, it could be could be a little advantageous in regards to obviously they want to see how you command and absorb the strikes as well. Are you going to implement the same type of style in regards to receiving your technique, or have you thought about that the step out potentially hurting you should it go to a decision?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been like some talk online about like flinching and stuff, but I mean, so if
I didn't say flinching. I just said
no,
roll out. It was within the rules. They didn't call it.
Within the rules, they didn't call it. So I mean, that's the thing too, is the judges. If I'm not being called, I never got called for flinching. I know, like I see, like a lot of like Slap Jesus got robbed by the flincher or whatever. But like I wasn't flinching. So like, obviously, if you can, everyone has their own strategies to do this. I'm not the only guy that rolls with it. So, yeah, I think that it's a strategy that can help you, kind of depending on who you're going against. Maybe it won't help you in every situation, but I think as far as Slap Jesus, I think just with kind of how it's the first time I've tried it, but I think going against him, I want to try something new because he goes on one, So basically the whole time I'm just focused on like the center of his chest, because you never know when he's going to slap. So I was just staring dead center of his chest, and as soon as I see him come near me, I'm like tensing up, and I think that's where that rolling comes with it. And yeah, I mean, and as much as it looks like it was taking the power away, like, I mean, my face was still like cut up and, it was welted the next day with his handprint. So I'm telling you, it's not the way I take these hits is not like cheating him out of a hit.
For sure. Yeah. No,
So,
I guess it meant, yeah. I would just say more or less where I was going with it is that the step out could be seen. I mean, I think with Jesus Gaspar, I think this could very well go to the distance. You know, the guy's got a chin, and so more or less was
Uh-huh.
just trying to see if you were worried about whatsoever about the impact side of it, because obviously they're at least what they say they're going to look at how you absorb the slap and stuff like that to
I
determine
got you. As far as like,
who wins the round. And yeah, that's all. And I'm just saying if with the
no, I hear you.
intentional step out, it could be seen as a lesser defense. That's all where I was going with it, man, and just seeing if you
No,
had any
I hear you.
thoughts or
And
theories
kind of,
towards that.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think kind of my thoughts and theory toward it is, so kind of going into it, I felt like my defense in my first couple slap fights was I was much too stiff, right? So I was
Mm-hmm.
watching the video against Chris Thomas and Alex Asbury, and I'm like standing straight up, and like my legs are like locked, like my knees are locked, and it's just not a very good position to take a hit. So like one thing I worked on was like being able to have my body loose. Like I didn't want to have to. I didn't want to try to stay there and not move at all. I want to be able to like take that energy, and to be able
Yeah.
to absorb it better. Because if you try to stand like a brick wall, it's going to make that impact a lot harder. So going into it, I did anticipate like stepping, like keeping one foot in the box, but probably having to lean out.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I didn't anticipate like walking away from the box like I did. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't something I'd planned on doing, but I did like plan to like let one foot go and step because I was like I'm going to take, you know, kind of what me and Donovan were talking about going into it, and we trained together all week. He was telling me, he's like, man, your defense was way too stiff. And
Mm-hmm.
basically got the idea in my head. If you, he's like, it doesn't matter if you do a 360 out of the box and the dude slaps you as long as you can get back in there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I would rather step out of the box and then say you can't step into the box rather than get knocked out and not be able to go back up there and try to finish him. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that it's basically just a culmination of trying to do everything I can to absorb the energy,
Mm-hmm.
and keep it all like in the legal way.
Totally. I mean, we're starting to see some of the game theory with the veteran guys start to come into play. Ron Beta, winding up from a low angle and delivering, his infamous strike now from more of a higher kind of baseball angle. Seeing different
Right?
strikers
Yeah.
change up, swinging, right on three for the first slap, going right on two the second. We're seeing some left and right. How much do you think the evolution of that kind of game theory and strategy, especially for these OG guys that have some experience, is going to play into where this, the growth and the evolution of the sport goes?
I think it's probably I think the most what's what I'm looking for, like the most diversified like type of fighters we have in this, probably the best thing, like
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather kind of have it, like there's some guys that use left and right in some fights, and then some guys only use a right, and some guys go on three sometimes, some guys always go on one. Like I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think certain things work for certain guys. So as far as what that does for the sport going forward, I think it just helps it. I think because then people get the idea, they can kind of do their own thing up there, and try to use different things to their advantage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. I mean, the average length or the average career of a slap fighter is less than two fights. I mean, you're now technically an OG pushing into the upper echelon of that. Do you take great pride
Yes, sir.
in continuing to forge your way in this, continuing to stay on the roster, and be ranked as that number one contender?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's just like a testament to like the hard work that we put in, and
Mm-hmm.
also just a testament to like the potential Donovan saw in me, and just like him, recommending good guys like come out here and like let him down or anything. So just like
Totally.
yeah, I take def pride in, I mean, anything I do, like especially even
Mm-hmm.
like just on a normal basis, like at my regular job. I mean, I take pride if it has my name on it. Like if it's representing me, I take pride in it. So absolutely.
For sure. I mean, Jesus Gaspar. You've seen him now a number of times get up there. What do you see in his game that you think that you can exploit come May 24th?
Um, so I don't, as far as Jesus Gaspar, Jesus has gotten a lot. I really didn't get to see how much he improved from his last fight I saw in the show because he got slept, so I didn't really get to see how much his striking improved. I know that he had some issues with fouling and flinching. His first two fights were pretty ugly. That last one that he had with Joel Scott, he was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But so I would say if anything I want to exploit in his game, I'd say probably it's going to be one of those things I really don't know how much. I haven't seen his game really. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get to see him really throw any slaps last time. So no, not really anything to exploit. But I would say if anything, probably see if he doesn't exploit anything himself. Like
Mm-hmm.
let him make a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going up against a competitor, I'm not gonna say Jesus here, but going up against any competitor that has a track record of fouls, does that worry you whatsoever standing up there, for your safety?
Um, yeah, it does. I remember, like I've had conversations with some of the guys that I've gone against before, like, hey man, like no matter the outcome, like I just don't want to get knocked out on a club, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so I mean, I think that's for everybody. Like nobody wants to get injured or something like lose an eye or anything like that due to like a sloppy round of fighting. So um, yeah, definitely something I think about. But I do trust like that. All of us guys put in hard work, and we all try to be our best out there. And we've seen the change from from last December to this. We've seen how much cleaner these fights have gotten. So it's definitely gotten less worrisome, I
Totally.
guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When your work boots hit the ground in Las Vegas, is it game time?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, I'm not a super like always serious 100% type of dude. I mean, I do take my work seriously and my training and stuff, but I'll have a little bit of fun in Vegas. Like it's not gonna be all
Mm-hmm.
work, all seriousness, but we'll have a little bit of fun. But I mean, once we get up on the stage and things like that, like yeah, it's absolutely showtime. So,
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna see a change in your walkout music this time around, or are you gonna run the same thing back again?
what do you think of the last one?
Honestly, man, there was so much going on. I don't even remember because I was running
Gotcha.
back and forth
Yeah,
from the
I mean,
media room and everything else.
no, that's funny. I've actually the UFC just emailed me about it the other night. Like, are we keeping the same one? And I was like, I've thought about it for a couple of nights, but I'm gonna change it. So yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, yeah, that's like it kind of is important to me, but it's kind of not. But like, yeah, I don't know. So I changed it up.
Cool. Well, can you drop us any insight? Anything we can look forward to seeing?
Like as far as the walkout music.
Yeah, yeah. What's it gonna be?
Yeah, it'll be a classic. It'll be a classic by a classic artist. That's for sure. I'll tell you that.
Okay, okay, okay. It was too bad your opponent at Power Slap number one could have had one of the most infamous moments. So Frank, the president of Power Slap, wanted Mike Smith to walk out to "Jesus Walks" by Kanye West, but he declined. But could you imagine how epic that would have been?
Man, that would have been epic. That's funny because I'll just tell you I plan on coming out to "Stronger" by Kanye West. So I was gonna do a Kanye West song anyway. So yeah, but Jesus
Nice,
Walks with
nice.
Slap Jesus would have been hilarious.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
that's
dude.
hilarious.
Awesome, man.
But
So in a
Slap
perfect
Jesus, he does what he wants. You can't tell him what to do.
Totally, man. Totally. You can't. I think they're trying to right now, but yeah, you definitely can't keep them under
Yes, sir.
wraps if you're in the civilian world. So, um, like we said, next week, May 24th comes around. What does the perfect fight look for you? You won the coin toss that they released today. So how does that match unfold?
Did I? I'm gonna be honest. I'll be honest with you, man. I've seen it circulating on social media when I've like been on there throughout the days or whatever. Like people saying, "Oh, you
Mhm.
won, you won, you won," and I hadn't even looked at it. So like I now just found out I won.
Yes, sir, you did. You're striking
Okay,
first.
very good, very good. It's been a minute since I got to strike first. I'm happy about that. So Thank you, Corey.
Yeah.
Very good news. Yeah. It's yeah. Striking first. I'm sorry. What was your question gonna be? I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, all good, man. I was just saying, in a perfect world, how does the fight unfold May 24th on Rumble? Oh, I think we lost Waylon. We'll see if he comes back or not. I'll do a little ad lib here, a little fill in. But just to recap for everybody, Jesus Gaspar, number 2 contender, going up against number 1 contender, Waylon Frost on Rumble during the prelims. A power slap number 2. So we're going to see where this goes. Jesus Gaspar coming off a loss to the champion at the welterweight division, Chris Thomas. Waylon Frost coming off a victory against Slap Jesus. So we're going to see if we can get Waylon back on here real quick. We'll see if he joins in. I think he has some connection issues, but that's going to be a great match for everybody to watch and see. And you never know, obviously, with Chris Thomas, not performing on this particular card, with the potential of him coming back, I believe September 12th, we might see him on Power Slap number 3, and very well the winner of, or the outcome of this match could be in line for one of those title shots. So we will see. There's also Cole Young. Dana White has given him a ton of praise in the welterweight division. If he has a very impressive performance, we might be able to see him catapult himself up there. So these two matches here between, like I said, Waylon Frost, Jesus Gaspar, and then when we talked about Cole Young as well. And I don't want to overstate who Cole Young is up against. I don't have it up here real quickly. I'm trying to find it as we talk in real time, but I'm not doing a good job at it. So can move on from there. We're going to see Cole Young is going up against Anthony Babyface Blackburn. So that has taken place in the welterweight division as well. So seeing the winner of that might shape up the welterweight division, and who is next in line to face Chris Thomas. Like I said, once again, we appreciate everybody who tunes into this. Slap News is working hard to be able to deliver you original content. We're not just reposting the stuff that Power Slap puts up. We are giving you guys original content, getting deep, asking the hard questions to the actual fighters itself, and we are working day and night trying to make this happen. We will be down there live, Power Slap number 2, Las Vegas, Nevada. You can count on Slap News being there. Follow us on Instagram, slap_news. You can also follow us on Twitter as well. We're always rocking it there. If you're listening to this video on YouTube, do us a favor, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of new content that's coming out in the future, and leave us a comment below if you have any questions or anything that you want to see in future episodes. We're here to serve you guys. I'm Corey Sweargas. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get Waylon Frost back on, but I appreciate you all for joining me here today. Like I said, all the very best, and we'll be there live. Follow us, Instagram updates on the daily.